Men, let's be honest, dating today is different. Women are more independent, more open, and more selective than ever before. At the same time, many men struggle to read the subtle signals that reveal a woman's sexual history or experience. Not because it's about judgment, but because knowing this can protect your time, your energy, and your emotional investment. There's a difference between curiosity and awareness. A man who understands female psychology sees patterns, not labels. He notices behavior, energy, and interaction styles that reveal more than words ever will. Women may not announce their past, and most don't, but their actions, habits, and reactions leave clues. The signs aren't loud, they're subtle, hidden in confidence, in flirtation, in how she relates to intimacy. Experience shapes behavior. A woman who has been with multiple men carries patterns in communication, boundaries, and emotional cues. She may be more confident, more playful, or more guarded in certain situations. Understanding these signals is not about shaming her or doubting her integrity. It's about clarity, knowing what you're dealing with so you can navigate dating with intelligence and presence. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 hidden signs that reveal a woman's sexual experience. These are behavioral, psychological, and energy-based cues. If you watch closely and understand the dynamics, you'll gain insight into her past without confrontation, without gossip, and without judgment. You'll see the truth that most men overlook. This knowledge empowers you. It sharpens your perception. It keeps you from misreading signals and investing where alignment isn't real. 1. Confidence and comfort. One of the first hidden signs is the way she carries herself, her confidence and comfort in her own skin. Men often overlook this because they mistake charm for experience. But a woman who has been with multiple men tends to exhibit a natural ease around intimacy, flirtation, and social dynamics. She doesn't overthink simple interactions. She smiles, makes eye contact, and knows how to handle playful teasing without discomfort. She doesn't blush at mild compliments. She understands her body and her presence, and she isn't afraid to use them subtly. That doesn't mean she's easy or available. It means she's familiar with attention and knows how to navigate it. Confidence manifests in conversation too. She can joke about intimate topics, discuss relationships frankly, and speak openly about boundaries without shame or avoidance. Men who lack experience often show awkwardness, hesitation, or insecurity in these same situations. She doesn't need approval to express herself. She's secure enough to engage without overthinking. Physical comfort is another key factor. She moves naturally, gestures with ease, and exhibits fluid body language. It's not about seduction in the obvious sense. It's subtle. The way she adjusts her hair, the way she sits, the ease with which she touches your arm. These small behaviors reveal a level of experience with attention and intimacy. Men sometimes misread this as flirtation or overconfidence, but the key is consistency. A woman with this experience doesn't perform for validation. She simply exists in her confidence, whether alone, with friends, or with you. Another indicator is how she handles sexual topics. She doesn't panic, change the subject abruptly, or get defensive. She answers frankly, sometimes with humor, sometimes with insight, and often with a calm, neutral tone. That comfort reflects exposure and learning from multiple experiences. Notice how she reacts when boundaries are tested. A woman who has slept with multiple men tends to communicate clearly. She says no when she wants to, yes when she wants to, and rarely wavers from her decision under pressure. She understands her limits and can assert them without guilt or over-explanation. Confidence also shows in her social intelligence. She reads people quickly, adapts naturally to social energy, and rarely misreads cues. That skill comes from exposure, both in dating and casual interactions. This is not about judgment. It's about recognition. A woman who exhibits comfort, self-assurance, and ease around attention is likely experienced in intimacy. That experience informs how she navigates connections, emotional boundaries, and attraction. For men, understanding this behavior gives clarity. Confidence and comfort are signals, not labels. They tell you how she moves through the dating world, how she responds to attention, and how aware she is of her own desires. Awareness allows you to navigate her energy intelligently without assumptions, keeping you grounded and aligned with your own intentions. 2. Emotional guarding men. The next hidden sign is emotional guarding. A woman who has slept with multiple men often develops subtle defenses to protect herself from overinvestment or emotional confusion. This isn't about dishonesty. It's about learned self-preservation. She may appear warm and engaging, but there are boundaries you can't immediately cross. She's cautious about revealing her deepest feelings too quickly. She might laugh off personal questions, change the topic, or give vague answers about past relationships. This doesn't mean she's hiding something malicious. She's simply protecting her emotional energy. One key indicator is how she handles attachment signals. If you show affection, she responds in measured ways, sometimes enthusiastically, sometimes with slight restraint. That inconsistency reflects experience. She knows the impact of closeness and has learned to pace intimacy to maintain balance. Emotional guarding also shows in communication patterns. She may avoid prolonged emotional vulnerability early on, or she may test your reactions to small disclosures. For example, she might casually mention a past partner or flirtation and gauge your response. Experienced women often use these subtle cues to see if a man is secure, respectful, and emotionally stable. Another behavioral sign is selective trust. She may openly share some aspects of her life while keeping other areas private. That selectivity indicates past exposure and a learned approach to navigating emotional risk. She doesn't overshare indiscriminately. She's deliberate about what she reveals and when. Body language can reveal guarding too. She may maintain personal space more consistently, keep her posture slightly closed during serious conversations, or avoid deep eye contact when discussing intimate topics. These are subconscious signals that indicate protective patterns developed over time. Notice how she reacts to pressure or persistence. A woman who's been with multiple men knows when to push back gracefully. She can assert boundaries without conflict, often leaving men frustrated if they try to rush emotional intimacy. This skill comes from experience, knowing how to navigate attention, desire, and expectation. Another subtle sign is self-reflection in conversation. She might talk about lessons learned from past experiences, highlighting growth without self-criticism. This shows awareness of patterns in her past relationships and sexual experiences. For men, recognizing emotional guarding is crucial. It's not a negative trait. It's a learned strategy. Understanding it allows you to approach her with respect, patience, and intelligence. It helps you differentiate between genuine connection and defensive behavior designed to maintain control over her emotional space. Ultimately, emotional guarding signals experience. A woman who has navigated multiple intimate encounters knows the value of her emotional energy and is intentional about where she invests it. Observing these patterns gives you insight into her past and informs how you engage with her in the present. 3. Social fluency. Men, the third hidden sign is social fluency, the effortless way she navigates people, attention, and social situations. A woman who has slept with multiple men often develops subtle skills in reading, influencing, and engaging others. This is not about manipulation. It's about learned experience and awareness of human behavior. You'll notice it in how she handles attention. She can flirt naturally without overdoing it. She knows how to maintain intrigue without creating drama. Her energy is calibrated. She gives enough to engage, but not enough to overcommit too quickly. Men often misread this as exceptional charm, but it's often grounded in experience with multiple romantic and social dynamics. Social fluency also shows in conversation. She can shift topics seamlessly, respond to teasing, and navigate tricky questions without awkwardness. She's quick to understand social cues, humor, tension, or attraction, and adjusts her behavior accordingly. If she's interacting with multiple men in her social circle, this skill becomes second nature. Another indicator is observation and adaptability. She notices details: how someone reacts, what makes them comfortable, what triggers discomfort. A woman with experience uses this information subtly, adjusting tone, eye contact, and body language to maintain rapport. This creates a sense of ease around her presence, even if you don't consciously register why. Look at her energy in groups. She can interact with men without overinvestment, keeping boundaries clear while still engaging fully. She can balance attention among multiple people effortlessly, a skill developed through experience. It's not about chasing validation, it's about confidence and control. Social fluency also shows in comfort with physical proximity. She knows how to position herself, when to touch lightly, when to withdraw. Small, deliberate cues that communicate interest, safety, or boundaries. These behaviors feel natural because they're learned and reinforced through repeated intimate and social experiences. A woman who has slept with multiple men is also aware of perception. She understands the effect she has on others and can use that awareness to navigate dating, friendships, and professional interactions smoothly. That doesn't make her untrustworthy. It means she's experienced and mindful. Men often misinterpret social fluency as flirtation aimed solely at them. The key is pattern recognition. Consistent confidence and adaptability across situations reflect experience, not insecurity. Notice how she treats attention from other men. Is she graceful, calm, and measured, or defensive and insecure? The former signals experience. The latter signals inexperience or uncertainty. Understanding social fluency is crucial for men. It tells you how she moves through the dating world, how she manages attention, and how her past experiences influence present behavior. Recognizing it allows you to navigate interactions intelligently, keeping your own energy steady and your expectations clear. 4. Sexual openness. Men, the fourth hidden sign is sexual openness, the way she talks about, responds to, and navigates intimacy. A woman who has slept with multiple men tends to exhibit comfort and confidence in matters of sex, but in subtle, often unconscious ways. This isn't about judgment or promiscuity, it's about experience shaping comfort with her body, desires, and boundaries. You'll notice it in conversation first. She doesn't shy away from topics about sex or intimacy. She may joke lightly, answer questions frankly, or reference experiences without embarrassment. Her tone is casual, calm, and grounded. In contrast, women with less experience often avoid these topics, change the subject, or react defensively. Confidence around sexuality reflects familiarity. She has been exposed to attention, desire, and boundaries before, and she knows how to navigate them. Another indicator is her awareness of her own desires. She can communicate preferences clearly without over-explaining or apologizing. For example, she may state what she enjoys physically or emotionally and move on without creating tension or drama. That level of clarity often comes from experience and self-awareness. Sexual openness also shows in subtle body language. She may be more relaxed with touch, positioning, or physical closeness. She understands how to respond to signals naturally, without awkwardness. Her movements feel fluid and confident, even in moments of casual intimacy. Men often notice this instinctively, though they may misinterpret it as flirtation rather than comfort born from experience. Look at how she handles curiosity. If you ask about boundaries, her response is measured. She knows what she wants, what she's comfortable with, and how to communicate it. She doesn't overpromise or undercommunicate. She simply answers and maintains her composure. Another subtle signal is the way she reacts to male attention. A woman with experience can accept flirtation gracefully while maintaining her standards. She doesn't overreact to compliments, nor does she create tension through uncertainty. This equilibrium reflects exposure to multiple interactions over time. Sexual openness also intersects with emotional control. She can separate attention, desire, and affection appropriately, showing maturity in intimate dynamics. She understands that comfort with sex does not equate to immediate emotional attachment, a distinction that comes with experience. For men, recognizing sexual openness gives insight into her comfort level, boundaries, and past exposure. It allows you to navigate intimacy with confidence, understanding where she's likely experienced, where she sets limits, and how her past informs her present behavior. This is not about judging her history, it's about awareness. Knowing these cues helps you protect your energy, engage intelligently, and make informed decisions in dating and intimacy. 5. Casual boundaries. Men, the fifth hidden sign is casual boundaries, how she handles limits, commitments, and emotional closeness. A woman who has slept with multiple men often develops a clear sense of what she allows, what she avoids, and how she structures her interactions to protect herself. These patterns are subtle but revealing. One indicator is how she responds to requests for exclusivity or deeper commitment early in a connection. She may be polite but non-committal. She sets expectations without guilt, showing she understands her own priorities. That doesn't mean she's disinterested in you. It means she has experience navigating attention and knows how to pace emotional investment. Another cue is her approach to time and availability. She maintains her schedule firmly and doesn't overextend herself for someone new. While warm and engaged, she doesn't drop everything to accommodate every request. This discipline reflects experience. She has learned that attention and intimacy need balance and are not automatic privileges. Physical and emotional boundaries are also key. She communicates limits clearly and consistently. She doesn't allow pressure or manipulation to override her choices. This contrasts with women who have less experience and may feel uncertainty or guilt about enforcing limits. A woman with experience understands the value of her boundaries and maintains them gracefully. Casual boundaries show up in conversation too. She might share personal information selectively, revealing certain aspects of her life while keeping others private. She's aware of what is appropriate for the stage of the connection. This selectivity is not secretive, it's intentional, reflecting past learning about trust, intimacy, and self-protection. Notice how she responds to flirtation or sexual attention. She can engage without overcommitting emotionally. She may tease or joke, but her actions remain consistent with her words. She manages her energy and attention deliberately, creating clarity without needing constant reassurance. Another subtle sign is her ability to redirect attention gracefully. If a man tries to overstep or test boundaries, she doesn't overreact emotionally. Instead, she navigates the situation calmly, maintaining control. This skill comes from having experienced similar dynamics multiple times. She knows what's worth engagement and what is not. Men often misread casual boundaries as disinterest or aloofness. In reality, they reflect awareness and self-respect. Recognizing these patterns allows you to distinguish between genuine compatibility and a connection that may be misaligned with your goals. Understanding casual boundaries also helps you set your own. If she's experienced, she responds to clarity and composure. You gain respect by matching her level of emotional intelligence and consistency. For men, this is a powerful insight. Casual boundaries reveal experience, confidence, and intentionality. They show how she navigates attention and intimacy, giving you the information to engage wisely and protect your emotional investment. 6. Subtle comparison. Men. The sixth hidden sign is subtle comparison. The small ways she evaluates you, often unconsciously, against her past experiences. A woman who has slept with multiple men carries a mental catalogue of behaviors, emotional responses, and intimate dynamics. She doesn't necessarily vocalize it, but her actions and reactions reveal it. You'll notice it in conversation. She may reference general behaviors without naming anyone. Some guys are like this, or usually men react that way. These statements are not attacks or judgments. They're her way of calibrating you against her internal reference points. Men often miss this, thinking it's casual banter, but it's actually a psychological gauge. Another indicator is how she responds to physical or emotional intimacy. If she has prior experience, she may test your patience, attentiveness, or confidence. She observes how you respond to subtle cues, timing, intensity, initiation, and emotional engagement, comparing it to what she has encountered before. This is not manipulation. It's instinctive pattern recognition. Subtle comparison can also appear in playful teasing. She may comment on your behavior lightly, test reactions, or push boundaries just to see your response. Experienced women have learned to gauge compatibility and alignment in these ways. Your reaction tells her a lot about your confidence, emotional steadiness, and how you handle attraction. Pay attention to topics around intimacy, attention, or social dynamics. She may reference norms or how others behave indirectly. These cues are soft signals that she's evaluating, not necessarily judging. Men often misread this as insecurity or flirtation, but it's far more analytical than emotional. Another sign is her level of responsiveness. If she has seen attention and desire before, she may respond more thoughtfully than instinctively. She isn't reactive. She's observing. For example, she might delay a text reply, not out of disinterest, but to see how you handle timing, boundaries, or your own confidence. Comparison also shows in her energy around you. She may match your enthusiasm selectively, test emotional alignment, or subtly adjust her interest based on your behavior. This calibration is learned through experience and exposure to multiple partners and social dynamics. Men often overreact to comparison cues, interpreting them as criticism or rejection. The key is observation and composure. Recognize that these patterns reflect experience, not judgment. A woman's subtle comparisons reveal what she values, how she measures compatibility, and what kind of presence she expects from a partner. For you, understanding subtle comparison provides clarity. It tells you whether your energy, confidence, and boundaries align with hers. It allows you to navigate interactions intelligently without overreacting or misreading her behavior. Recognize these patterns, stay grounded, and respond with calm consistency. When you do, you'll see the truth behind her evaluation and understand how your connection fits into her broader experience. 7. Comfort. With attention men, the seventh hidden sign is comfort with attention, the way she handles being noticed, admired, or pursued. A woman who has slept with multiple men has often experienced varying levels of attention, and that exposure shows in subtle, consistent behaviors. Understanding this is crucial for reading her psychology without overreacting. First, notice how she responds to compliments. She doesn't overreact, blush excessively, or seek validation. Instead, she accepts praise naturally, with calm acknowledgement. She understands the dynamics of admiration and attention, and she doesn't need to amplify her response to appear attractive. Men often mistake overconfidence or casual acceptance as disinterest, but it's actually a sign of comfort and experience. Second, observe her social interactions. She can engage with multiple people, men and women alike, without creating unnecessary tension or drama. She maintains boundaries effortlessly while still being personable. If she has experienced attention from other men, she knows how to navigate it without jealousy or insecurity, maintaining a composed, confident presence. Third, watch for subtle flirtation cues. She may tease lightly, laugh naturally, or playfully test reactions, but these behaviors feel controlled and balanced. A woman with experience doesn't seek to manipulate or provoke. She uses these cues instinctively to gauge compatibility, energy, and confidence. Men without experience may overreact, misread, or attempt to win her attention, which often backfires. Fourth, pay attention to her body language around attention. She maintains eye contact, smiles appropriately, and positions herself comfortably without forcing connection. Her gestures are smooth and intentional, not awkward or exaggerated. Experienced women understand the nonverbal language of attraction and know how to communicate it naturally. Comfort with attention also shows in how she responds to your presence. She may enjoy your company, laugh at your jokes, or engage in playful touch, but she doesn't overinvest or cling. This balance indicates that she's familiar with being desired and has learned to maintain emotional equilibrium while receiving attention. Another subtle indicator is how she manages boundaries when others pursue her. She handles unsolicited attention gracefully, without drama or defensive behavior. Her experience allows her to assess interactions quickly and respond in a measured, composed manner, signaling emotional maturity and self-assuredness. For men, recognizing comfort with attention is empowering. It tells you she's socially aware, emotionally grounded, and experienced in navigating interest without creating chaos. You can engage confidently without misreading signals or overcompensating. Understanding this behavior is key to modern dating. It helps you interpret her reactions accurately, maintain your own energy, and build connection without being manipulated by uncertainty or inconsistency. A woman who is comfortable with attention is predictable in her boundaries and responses, a clarity that allows you to move forward wisely and confidently in the relationship. Men, after observing these 7 hidden signs, you now have a framework to understand a woman's sexual experience without judgment, accusation, or overthinking. Confidence and comfort, emotional guarding, social fluency, sexual openness, casual boundaries, subtle comparison, and comfort with attention. Each of these cues tells you something about how she navigates intimacy, attention, and relationships. This knowledge is not about labeling or shaming. It's about awareness and clarity. Modern dating moves fast, and emotional misalignment costs time, energy, and peace of mind. Recognizing these behaviors allows you to see her patterns, intentions, and priorities without relying on assumptions or confessions. Notice her energy and consistency. Experienced women show subtle patterns across behavior, communication, and body language. They balance warmth with boundaries, curiosity with caution, and openness with self-protection. Reading these cues accurately allows you to engage intelligently, respond with composure, and maintain your own standards. For men, this awareness is empowering. It prevents wasted effort, protects emotional investment, and ensures you aren't misled by charm or flirtation alone. You gain insight into how she handles attention, desire, and connection, which is critical for evaluating compatibility. Ultimately, understanding female psychology gives you leverage in modern dating. You can observe without overreacting, respect boundaries while maintaining your own, and make decisions rooted in clarity instead of assumption. Experience leaves subtle footprints, and by recognizing them, you can navigate relationships with confidence and intelligence. Remember, the goal isn't to judge her past, but to understand the signals she gives in the present. Awareness gives you power, presence, and the ability to attract women whose values and energy align with yours. In a world of fleeting connections and fast-paced dating, knowing how to read these hidden signs separates men who are reactive from men who are discerning, grounded, and ultimately successful in love. This is your roadmap. Observe, interpret, and act with clarity. That's how you stay in control, protect your heart, and engage with women intelligently in the modern dating world.